Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to go over the future marine forecast, moon phase, and tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great, exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, we are live. Let's see. Never mind. We are live on this platform, which is YouTube, where you are currently watching it, and we are also on Facebook Live too, on the South Florida Saltwater Fishing but the actual fishing channel, the business one. All right. Anyway, let's get into this, folks. Right, so we got something from our weather thing happening this week. We got high pressure that's coming east and a little bit south over mainland, and it's going to do is it's going to turn our wind from the northeast, and it's going to start ripping over the next couple of days in the mid double digits, approaching 20 miles an hour. All right, so let's get right into this. We got some notice from the FWC about flounder. If anybody is a flounder fisherman, you better get it done before tomorrow, because the whole state of Florida is closing down, according to the FWC, our friends right here. So flounder, you got to go and hunt them down. I know they're, you can get them up in Sebastian. I've caught them out deep dropping, but they're like smaller than my, my palm, not very big. They're around, but hey, if you're a flounder fisherman, more power to you. I love flounder, but I'm totally lost when it comes to getting them. So there you go, folks. Flounder is over and done tomorrow. So let's move on with what we are catching, right? Catch them what? Let's start out. We got some skinny water stuff. We got Marlo Kennedy Aleva, skinny water queen going on. And here she is with a nice little line sider out back in the the creeks and canals, mangroves. I believe she's up north on the west coast. Always gets out there almost every darn week, and definitely makes a post. One of the great, I believe she's a guide. Also gets out on that paddleboard and shows the big boys that the ladies can definitely keep up. And yes, she does, because week after week after week makes a post. Marlo, thank you very much as always for your contribution to the show. All right, let's get on with it. We're going to do some shallow water stuff. We got Pedro, Mr. Pedro, in the house with a nice mutton. Says he hasn't had much of a chance to get offshore. Went to the Keys, did some fishing. Got some nice bites. Got a keeper mutton. A short and a keeper mutton. I would imagine this is the keeper, and a jack. So hey. Frozen ballyhoo plugs, not ballypoo, ballyhoo plugs, block of chum, and right before the tide turn. So heading towards the slack tide on the bridge. Very good. Then he went, it went to Long Key. Yes, there we go. So if you're looking for a bridge down there, Long Key holds muttons, according to Mr. Pedro. Look at that. And yes, he is excellent at getting dialed in on the mutton. All right, so let's go on ahead and talk other stuff, right? What you're going to see right now, the main thing swimming around is definitely Mahi. They are on the inside of the stream. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm back. I had to take a couple of weeks off, personal issues, and mainly I've really started concentrating on getting ready to produce full-length content again on the YouTube channel. So, the live streams are still going to continue. They're going to shift to Wednesday, and super busy right now. Not a moment to waste. But yes, what everybody's been waiting for is that's my phone going off. I'm going to mute it because people are blowing it up. Bear with me 2 seconds while I do this. Like I said, we're really getting ready to hit it hard, get back offshore, and start doing all of our goodness and madness that we've been doing for over the past 8 years. Anyway, back to it, right, folks? Dolphin, mahi, and tuna. Back to it. The mahi that you're going to see right here, we got one from Michael. Went out there, and the dolphin now, like I've always said for quite a while, the dolphin at this time of year, they swim on the inside of the stream. So they're going to be in between 1 and 300 feet. You do not have to travel halfway to Bimini to get into the dolphin bite, and they're going to be good flippers, some gaffers. They're bigger than the peanuts that swim around for the bulk of the summer. So the mahi is happening, that mahi action, remember, and they're going to be heading south because this time of year they're going against the stream, which is why they swim in on the inside. During the summer, they're heading north because they're going with the stream. All right. Yes, sir. Dolphin, get it right. All right, there we go. This would be Michael with a nice little bull right there. Good to go. And let me continue on showing you. Here we got Gary. Gary finally got back out. He said after a month's worth of repairs. That's horrible on the boat. But, hey, he's got him in. Like I said, the mahi are swimming around, and he's got himself a nice little, is that a Spaniard? That is Spanish Mac. So, again, another thing that I've noticed a lot, you will see a lot of the Boynton Beach Inlet. Oh, man, by the way, I have to comment, Gary has the best shirt on the boat. Hate to say it, but yes, if you're wearing a South Florida saltwater fishing shirt, you're awesome. Anyway, yes, the Spanish mackerel and the bluefish are showing up on the beaches. So if you can't get offshore and you're really itching to get out fish, you can go hit a pier, watch for the pods to swim by, or you can even get them right from the beach if you want to. You just got to see them swimming by. If you're pitching out baits to the sand, it's gonna be rough going. But at this time of the year, remember, we just had the mullet run pass through. Now we're having bluefish and Spanish mackerel, so you can get out there and put some meat on the table at home. Anyway, Gary, awesome catch, and he also got a close up here of the Spanish right there. So for those of you that don't know, right, Spanish mackerel look like king mackerel when they are little, or they have all these little dots. Do not confuse it with the Cirra, which has a dashed solid, like a dashed line down the middle. And the kingfish, when they're little, they will have these dots also. But if you see this little line right here, when it gets down to right about where their dorsal fin, it takes a deep drop and comes down here. This one, as you can see, only slightly curves down. That's how we know this is a Spanish mackerel. Alrighty, very good. Let's move on. That's Gary. Thanks for always contributing and being there. David said he got offshore with his buddy getting a little sick, getting in them sea legs. It's bumpy out there, right, folks? You can't complain. But like I said, the dolphin, look at that, all lit up. I love these green stripes on them. That's a little cow right there. And then I believe he also got his daughter, Allison, out there. Yeah, look at her. Getting on the fish, right? Love to see smiles and fish. Always working out. Allison, getting in a workout on Sunday fun day. Yeah, when you are out there, in the dolphin, yes, jumping. Yeah, hey, nothing like seasick people, right? And watching them suffer a little bit. It's always gives you a kick. Humans inherently laugh at other humans' misery. All right. Nice ones in the boat. Semi-rough weeds are out there. He said blue line. So the green water, I've heard a lot of chatter about the green water being far out. David says it's out there to 600. Right there is weed line. You're going to have, your green water and your blue water meeting right there. They said they were catching dolphin right there. Perfect. Boynton Inlet was crazy. Yeah. The folks who go through Boynton Inlet are a different breed. Very brave. That's one of my least favorite, next to Haulover. Boynton is long and skinny, and when you get multiple boats going through there, it don't matter. Yes, good navigational skills and common sense will get you through there safely. Anyway, David, thank you very much for always contributing and keeping us in the know when it comes to it, right? So, push this in, tide was ripping. Yeah, that's going through the inlet. Yeah, it's a crazy inlet. Mose, here we go. Okay, so this is a little bit of everything. I was examining this box. Here, he's got some reef stuff. We've got the rainbow runner. We got the cudas, which you can get under troll. Obviously, you can troll up yellowtail, but that's more of a keys thing. And he hit the dolphin good. Hit another little barracuda down here. Yes, barracuda, people, it's got a bad stigma because it's stinky and stuff, but is a solid fish to eat as long as they're under 10 pounds. And there are regulations for them in the FWC. So if you're going to keep them, make sure you know. It's weird. It's almost a slot fish, and there's actually like limits. I would have to go and look it up. I'm not going to do it right now, but just be wary if you're keeping cudas. These ones, you're fine. And yes, definitely, almost half dozen dolphin. That's a solid day right there for Nick. All right, thanks for always contributing, boss. Here we go. Colin caught his PB, and look at this. That's a good dolphin right there. Look at that bull. So, and kind of doing a little bit of an arm stretch. We all got to, embellish it a little bit. But hey, still, like I said, folks, the dolphin are out there. Go get them. And again, we're not going to ignore wahoo. It is wahoo season. So 2 great pelagic fish. We've got the dark side of the moon approaching. They're going to, they're both going to be biting, and coming the next full moon is going to be, the expected hot wahoo bite. So, just bear that in mind. Hopefully our wind gives us a break and we can get out there and do it. And then our last dolphin fish. Wait, where's... I'm going to go over this one last one, and then I got a great epic weekend that happened down in the Key for, man. Here's Yasmini. Got the little guy on some dolphin. Very much fun day. Now, I have a question, because I see this bad boy sitting right here. I would love to know if, pardon me, either of these dolphin were caught on this. That would make it even that much more epic. But the fact that this man is holding up this prized catch is, this is what makes fishing always worth it. I know when I'm on the boat and I take out my son or my wife or whomever, it's always, I'm driving and finding fish everybody else catches. I'm good to go. So, nothing like getting them hooked young. All righty. That is Yasmini. Now we're going to go up to Thad. Thad went down to Key Largo. And like I said, we're going to show you all these. Here we go. Couple of nice dolphin right there. This is his son who stayed down in the Keys an extra day. And I'm telling you, they got it all. There we go. Same guy, same trip. Okay, this is the same trip. Pedro, how we doing? Thanks for showing up. Back in town. Hey, yes, we'll give you the field goal right there, boss. And all right. Yeah, same trip, right? Key Largo. 2-day trip. Wahoo. Like I said, folks, what we're looking for right now, you can do your snapper fishing, you can do your bluefish fishing and your Spanish mackerel, all that goodness. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you're pelagic fishing and you're trolling, be on the lookout. You got the wahoos and the dolphin. So there's another wahoo, right? Let's keep on with his trip. Here he goes. Skipjack. Very good. Now, I'm going to be telling you folks right now, since the skipjack came up, one of the first episodes we're actually working on, I'm actually currently filming it right now, is how to acquire an HMS permit, a highly migratory species permit. All right, and in this episode, it's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. Give me some time. I'm working on it. I swear I'm... Anyway, HMS permit. We're going to go over how to acquire it and what fish it encompasses. Atlantic tunas, which ones are covered, billfish, which ones are sharks, all that goodness. HMS permit. To keep skipjack, you are required to do it. You are required to have one. And an HMS permit is attached to your boat, not to the person. It's $30 from NOAA. You go online. And again, like I said, in a couple of weeks, that's going to be one of the first episodes that we come out with, showing you how to get it and going over what it covers if you have it on your boat. And that permit covers both state and federal waters. All right. That's great, Thad. Nice. I'm glad he actually got that so I can get that out of my system. Here we go. Nice rainbow runner. Look at that. Thad. Same trip, folks. Trolling up these fish. Okay. And the question has always been, hey, do rainbow runner hit troll baits? Well, if you're over that reef, there's always the possibility, right? Here we go. More Mahi, dolphin, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I love seeing people show off the fish, you know, the different colors and just... He's lacing into it. Look at this trip that he had, man. More skipjack. man, it's awesome. I'm getting into it. I mean, the pictures are endless. The BFT, the blackfin tuna, man, he literally caught a little bit of everything. So I made a mistake when I commented on him. I didn't look at it real closely. I kind of squinted my eyes. This is a horse-eye jack that they caught. I would imagine they're over the reef. It's possible that those hit trolling lures. I'm not going to say it's impossible. The only ones I've ever caught are on deep wrecks, doing some slow pitch jigging. I've caught them. Hey, great fish, great fight, nice jack. And of course, the last one, another wahoo. So, this guy, you want to talk about an epic trip? I mean, wahoo, mahi, rainbow runner, jack. Man, the list goes on. He epic trip. All right, folks. So that's what's going on for our we got to notice. Let's see what Jim just put up. There he is. Jim, 4J's Charters in the house, right on time. All right. I was starting to question my sanity here that our in-house charter captain, where is he? Here he is, right? Couple nice mahi on 4J's Charters with long arms. Of course, we all cheat a little bit like Mr. Reese, don't we? There we go. Nice ones out there, getting the kiddos, keeping the customers happy. Everybody's always happy when folks come to visit and they go out on a boat. They want to catch dolphin. Everybody wants to catch them out of your system. And you're going, oh man, that is literally putting it lightly. That Key Largo trip was something else. Listen, Captain Jim, 4J's Charters, okay, out of Boynton Beach. If you are looking for a charter captain and you're in the area, even if you're a little bit south, you're a little bit north, 100% worth it to get in contact with Captain Jim of 4J's Charters, okay? If you in touch with him, hit me up. I'll definitely get you in touch with him. Great guy, has his own line of slow pitch jigs. He actually sent me some, and these things are phenomenal, man. They're shaped like a triangle. They're long stick jigs, 250 grams, one of my favorite weights, all sorts of different colors. You can also go to that. So not only is he a licensed charter boat captain who can put you on the fish, he's also got his own line of things going on. So he really takes care of his customers. Make sure you're going to end up with the ultimate fishing experience. All right, folks, I'm glad he made it here literally at the bottom of the 9th inning. Thanks, Jim, for always showing up. And, I don't know what I'd do if you weren't on our side. Thanks a million. All right, that's it for our fishing report. Now we're going to go on to the weather and, let everybody get on. Like I said, we got some craziness going on right now with the weather. We got high pressure. High pressure is heading east, and it's going to, while it heads, it's going to push all the stuff and the wind down, and we're going to get nailed with it. So let's take a look at what's going on currently. And the wind's going to pick up towards the weekend and then probably start to peter off Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure. It's got this huge northeast swell. It was kind of doable, but it's going to pick up a little bit because of these insane winds and the amount of water that it's going to push our way. So let's go on ahead and look and not hear me talk. Actions speak louder than words. Or in this case, websites do. And again, remember, folks, this is just forecasting. It's not set in stone. You gotta, I've been wrong many, many times, but I try to do my due diligence and set you on the right path. But I always stress, make sure you check your live feeds, use all of your forecasting tools. That way you can make a solid decision on whether you're going or not, or pre-planning, whatever it might be that you want to do. But I do try to at least give you a heads up of what we're looking at in the next couple of days. And if anything changes, you can always go on Facebook, check out the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report, and make sure that you are in the know with what happens. Because if something changes here, I'll let everyone know. And then it could literally, if you're going to work Saturday, be like, wait, the weather's good. Hell no, I'm not working. All right. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay. So this is today. Let's look at tomorrow morning. All right. Like I said, we're looking at winds coming from the northeast. Okay. For the folks that are first-time newbies here joining the show, welcome to the show, welcome to the channel, welcome to the family. All these websites are going to go over the links are in the description. They're fairly simple to use. This is windy. You've got a color-coded chart down here that correlates directly to your wind speeds, wave heights, rain accumulation, whatever. You can also pick a point and click, and it will tell you right there your wind speed and your wind direction, wave heights, wave direction, and goodness. It also same way on a cell phone. If you have the Windy app or you go to the website, you just kind of move around with your finger. It'll give you a little crosshairs and it'll move around, just similar to what you're seeing right here. Anyway, so let's continue on, right? So right now, tomorrow morning, we're looking at 12 knots on the northeast winds, right? But it's going to be the same way over the next couple of days. Like I said, even approaching possible 20s as we really get into it. So you can see tomorrow we're predicting, mid to low double digits. Heading into Thursday, not much. I'm sorry. Thursday is the day that they're saying it's probably going to pick up. Tomorrow is going to kind of stay the same as it is. But as you can see, strong north winds. We've had a swell for about a week. In case you haven't seen it, you can make it out. Smaller boats can make it out. You're just gonna, you're gonna be rocking and rolling. As the swells get bigger, going in and out of the inlet, you're gonna have to time it and not, swamp your boat. It can be pretty sketchy heading out there. Down in the Keys, we're looking at 9 knots from the northeast and all that. And again, if the swell is heading from the Keys down there, it'll be a little bit less easier. Further south we are, away from all of the wind, which is up Vero area, a little bit up north. Again, not much difference. Tri-County area, all the way south. The Keys, again, it peters off. West Coast, they've got a little area spinning around right here, coming out of here, but nothing really too much. Again, the West Coast is very shallow, so for them to have, very bumpy days, they get murky water, they get choppy. Nothing like what's on the East Coast, especially in the Tri-County area where our reef comes straight up. All righty. Yeah, Friday. These, like I said, okay, so Friday is the day where it's looking like at least windy is saying, hey, it's going to pick up northeast 17 knots down in Miami, all the way down in the Keys. So it's going to pick up a little bit, so it will be bumpy out there, right? They're saying, we'll see what type of swells they got. Doesn't really change much as the afternoon. A couple, knots, give or take a few here or there. All right. Saturday, same thing. Looks like our winds are starting to head from the east, 12 knots. So this is not going to be much favorable when it comes to anything like that. Okay. Here we go. Keep going on. 11 knots at Palm Beach, Vero Beach. It's all going to be 10 knots. Again, it's heading straight from the east, which is going to kick up our wave heights and push a ton of water towards the peninsula. Saturday afternoon kind of looks like it wants to slow down a little bit, coming up north. Down in the Tri-County area, it's not really tending to give up. Let's see what happens on Sunday. We're starting to shift a little bit from the southeast now. There we go. So this is typically summertime dolphin weather. You don't really got to worry about that right now. But again, the dolphin are swimming on the inside of the stream where they can swim against the current and head to make little baby dolphin. Sunday afternoon, same situation between, 8-10 knots, southeast winds all the way down in the Keys, same stuff, not much of a difference. So we got winds in the, approaching around 10 knots up and down the coast. It is what it is, folks. It's, we're going to work our way past this weather cycle. Hopefully no more hurricanes come our way. They're being good boys and staying out in the Atlantic and sort of curving up towards Bermuda, staying closer to Africa than they are towards us, which is a great thing. We really don't need that mess, especially Florida rarely ever gets hit, but the Carolinas, they take the brunt of a lot of these storms from the Atlantic, whereas Louisiana takes the brunt of it in the Gulf Coast. For somehow Florida sticking out in the middle of the ocean, we are extremely lucky. All right, so this is Monday. It looks like we're going to start getting a west wind, which should lay down a little bit and lay the seas down a little bit, but continue with that swell. We shall see when we go to our wave heights Monday afternoon. Not much difference, right? And the further up north, it looks like the winds are going to calm down. And so if you're up in that area, I know Mike Long is up there, you might get a little bit of a break and be able to get out and do that and have like a not such a turbulent day on the seas. It's Tuesday, it looks like it's really starting to lay down from the west. So mid next week, looks like we're going to be getting some favorable conditions as long as the rain stays away. Hard to call it from now for here because that is a week away, but it looks like our wind, all the cycling of the wind and the high velocity of it is going to kind of peter out and give us boaters, especially the guys with small vessels, give them a chance to get out there and do some slaying. All right, let's go back to tomorrow morning. And we're going to look at our wave heights. Wave heights are very important right now, and especially wave heights combined with period, right? If you got a 3-foot wave and a 10-second period, that's a swell. Well, right now they are calling tomorrow morning 5-foot waves at a 6-second period. That's not a swell at all. That's fairly sporty out there. I wouldn't, the further up north we go, it looks like the period increases to 7 seconds. Offshore, it's not really changing much at all either. Down in the Keys, on the when you're inside Hawks Channel, it looks like the waves aren't too bad. But once you go, I would say east of Hawks Channel, the fishing turns really bad until you get into the shallows and the mangroves and stuff, and you could do some snapper fishing, lobstering, whatever it is you may do. But that area between, I would say, the grass flats and Hawks Channel, there, I've fished it for a long time. There's virtually nothing there unless you can go and find some structures, some small piles of rocks or whatnot and fish that. But it's going to be bumpy out there. See 5-foot waves at a 6-second period. That's tomorrow. And it looks like it wants to die down a little afternoon. Let's look at Thursday. Check this out. Here we go. So we got a massive push of water, right? So again, what I said, told you, we've got high pressure coming here, which is going to push all this water. We got a lot of water coming our way, folks. The atmosphere does a lot of stuff to the ocean. The more you understand how the atmosphere reacts with your ocean, the more comfortable and like second nature it comes to you to be able to call whether or not you want to head out, right? The atmosphere, the way it works with the ocean is basically like an upside down earthquake. An earthquake underneath the water creates a tsunami, big waves, right? So the same thing, it pushes the water out. Well, the same thing with the atmosphere. When you got pressure and stuff, it pushes the water out just from the top. So that's what we see is happening here. Anyway, and yes, that's a massive amount of water being pushed by a disturbance, which would be this high pressure. All right, so this is Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, and it looks like it's kind of petering off. Might not make it there. It's still 5 foot at 8 seconds, so we kind of got that swell. 8 seconds, I would say 8 seconds is a swell, but a 5-foot wave with an 8-second swell, that's some big stuff. If you're heading down, it looks like the southern Keys are, very nice. If we head out towards Pulley Ridge and the Tortugas, it's not too bad. 3-foot waves at a 4-second period. So offshore out there, 100 miles away, you got you got some waves, but it's not too bad. So if you're doing a long range trip, just be wary that it's not going to be flat lovely seas. It'll be fishing weather. All right, and Friday morning again, here comes the water. So if you look at that, you're looking at 7 foot at 7 seconds. The further south you head, 6 foot. We're looking at 5 up to Vero. It's again the 7 foot at 7 seconds. It's not even worth it whether it's a swell or not. Kind of peters off in the afternoon. Again, same sort of cycle, comes and goes over those couple of days. That would be Friday, which might be the worst of it. Yes. Come Saturday, we're going to quell back down to about 5 foot at 8 seconds in the afternoon, and in the morning, it's the same stuff up and down the coast. 5 foot, 6 foot, 9 seconds. So the further up we're looking at, the further north we go, once you get around the Vero Beach area, it looks like we're getting more swell. The period's gaining on us, right? So if you're in the Tri-County area south, you're going to have a good bump. But if you're up north, You might get a little lucky break. Sunday, they got 6 foot at 11. So it's a very big rolling swell with a ton of water being pushed our way. And same thing. So Sunday, we're looking at a swell. We got a 10-second period. That is definitely a swell, but it's a swell. You know, if you're out on a big old jumbo 70-foot Merit sport fish, that's probably not going to bother you. If you're in a 17-foot Key West single engine 90 horsepower, you're probably going to want to reconsider that, if that makes any sense. Don't want to get too technical in my analysis of this. All right, Sunday afternoon, same thing, 6 foot 11 seconds. So we got the swell. The swell is going to redevelop after the wind goes away and kind of dies down. So we'll have that swell that comes up, but it's a big swell. It's not that 3 foot swell, 4 foot swell that we were dealing with. We got the big boys. And as the weekend approaches, we'll see if that holds. Again, this is going to be one to kind of watch and see. Is it really 6 foot, or is it more like 2 foot? And the weather forecasting apps and their algorithm that they run on is being overly cautious. Alrighty, so Sunday, Monday, same thing, 5 foot 10 seconds, not much of a change. Down in the Keys, it's looking like you got a little bit of a closer period, but smaller waves, 3 foot, and down in Southern Keys, definitely, we can't look at the national park because there's no water there. So if we look off the Keys, 2 foot waves at a 4-second period. So I definitely know the charter boat captains will be getting out there. And if we look here around Tavernier, Isla Morada area, where we got the Bud and Marys going on there, they'll definitely be getting out there and look like they might be able to go out and get some sailfish. Swordfish. That's their thing, those guys. All right. Monday morning, right? Monday afternoon, not much of a change. Still same thing. 4 foot, 5 foot, 10 seconds. So we're looking at this 5 foot swell sticking around for a couple of days, and hopefully starting Tuesday, we will start to see some relief from it. Yeah. 9 seconds. So our period's closing. Waves are getting smaller. Down in the Keys. The Keys looks like, they're escaping sort of the onslaught of this weather that's going to happen to us. When you go and you click and you look at 1 foot at 3 seconds, almost all the way mid Keys. If you're in the Marathon area, Alligator Reef, all that goodness. Well, Alligator Reef is Isla Morada. So if you're like here, right around there, 1 foot. So definitely a good time to get out and get off down in the Keys. Pedro, I'm sorry. Last weekend, you take the boat down there this weekend, buddy, and get offshore. Anyway, so that's what we're looking at there. And Tuesday afternoon, and not much of a change, especially in the Keys. And it looks like it's starting to die down in the Tri-County area, 3 foot at 9 seconds. Okay, so hopefully going forward past towards the middle of the weekend, maybe it'll hold towards the weekend. It'll actually die down, and we can figure out a way to get out there and be safe. If you're not a die-hard person who just really needs to get out there in big, hefty seas and prove that you are a pirate. All right, so continuing on, that's that. We'll go back and we're going to look at our rain. I didn't hear much around rain. Local meteorologists have been, oh boy, that's wind. Let's look at rain. Local meteorologists, they can't even get the right report up at the right time. I'm looking at yesterday's or last week's or something. It's nonsense. Anyway, right now, high pressure causing dry conditions, right, folks? Still, zero rain, right? This is tomorrow afternoon. Thursday morning, not much. You got some moisture in the sky hanging around in the morning. Clouds, but not much rain. Maybe a spotty shower or two, but nothing, no downpours, nothing like that. On Friday, here it is. Still, there's our high pressure pushing down, and the wind starts to rip Friday afternoon. Dry conditions heading into Saturday. So it looks like we got some dry conditions. If the swell isn't as bad as they're saying it's going to be, hey, man, you get out there, you got dry conditions, nice and breezy. And Sunday looks like here comes some weather Sunday. And let's see what happens in the middle of the night. Now it's dissipate as it heads south, so it'll break up and we won't really get any of that. We are starting to see cooler temperatures, folks. I know I live in Boca, and we woke up in around 74, below 75 the last couple of days in a row, which is very nice. Finally getting down to some seasonable temperatures. Monday morning, let's see what's going on here. Look at that nice little line coming off. We got some spinning going on there, some convection. Nice little vortex going up there. I have no clue what that is. If that's another, that could possibly be that looks like a front that they're saying might come through next week. And of course, no one in their right mind is going to say that right now. That's a meteorologist, except models. So that looks like a front early next week, and then starting Tuesday, as we saw the dying down of everything else. All right, perfect. Now let's look at WindFinder, which is basically the numbers version of what we just went over. And you take these and you do your weighted average of both of these things, and you say, all right, let's go for it or not. All right, so tomorrow, right, they're saying northeast winds, low to mid double digits, maybe not very gusty, sunny, partly cloudy. Waves, they're saying 3 to 5 feet at 8 seconds. So we got this swell, right? Tomorrow's not bad, but the days and the days coming after that are when they're, you can see right here, they're talking 6 foot seas. So right now, our two forecast models are kind of jiving with each other. North winds, northeast winds, and you can see it start to pick up heading into Friday into the mid to high double digits versus Thursday. And you're going to see our swell from the northeast, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, head up towards the 6 to 7 foot range. Then come Saturday, when our wind shifts, that stuff will start, kind of subsiding. The height of the waves takes a little while to go away when you've got a massive water push like that, driven by atmospheric influence. And here we go, back to the northeast, starting Saturday, Sunday winds. Those are our waves heading from the northeast. Our winds shift to the east and then start heading a little bit more southeast, which is what we saw on our previous forecast model. Mid double digits, not very gusty, no rain like we saw, just clouds, rain at night on Sunday. And our northeast swell, again, 4 to 5 foot seas, 10-second period. So the swell, they're saying, is going to hang out. So this is the only difference between the last forecast model and this one, where we saw that our swell is coming and going. They're just saying the swell is going to hang out, and Sunday is looking like, Saturday and Sunday. It's big stuff, but starting Monday, which is where we're looking to be hopeful, that it'll actually do what it's going to say. We're going to drop down in wind speed. And our wave heights are going to stop dropping down, yet we'll stick with the swell from the northeast. Not much rain. It looks like Monday we're going to be in for some rain, like we saw that. So this is sort of jiving with what we saw, where the front, it looked like a frontal boundary passed through sometime Sunday night into Monday. All right. Does that for wind and rain and all that stuff. Let's talk moon phase, right, folks? Moons is for the wahoos. Like I said, we're in wahoo fishing right now. And if you got a bright moon, you really kind of want to, what is going on? Come on. All right, let me see what I can do to get rid of this here. There we go. Okay, moon phase. Now we are at October 14th. Happy birthday, Charlie. We are waning. Okay, so a moon that is waning means you're heading towards the dark side of the moon. A moon that is waxing means you're heading towards the full moon. So we are currently moving towards the dark side of the moon. We are here. Tuesday, October 14th, we're at 40%. Come on. Tomorrow, 30%. Thursday, 21. Friday, 14. Saturday, 7. Sunday, 3%, Monday 1, and Tuesday we're looking at new moon. So this is kind of, when you're fishing for dolphin, this is the moon that's going to get you producing the most from here throughout. So what happens, right, is when you've got less moonlight at night, your bait fish come to more life. They're more lively. They don't have to go and hide. They don't have to disperse over the reef because of the brightness shown by the moon, which makes them sitting targets for pelagic predators. when you've got this and our light's starting to dissipate and be less and less as time goes on, the bait fish come out and the predators eat less, which makes your daytime fishing more productive, right? And at this time, when you see this moon like this, that's when those guys go out at night and they go do their goggle eye fishing, they do their thread fin fishing, and whatever ballyhoo, squid, all bait fishing is mainly done at night. All right, so that's what our moon is, right? So we do not have a wahoo moon, but be prepared, because coming in mid-September, we're going to look for that full moon. That wahoo moon is going to be around. We've got wahoo now for several weeks. Be on the lookout. Try to get dialed in. Remember, folks, trolling is not the entity it used to be. So the is right. Well, high-speed trolling, folks, like I said, it's not what it used to be. Now people are doing like sort of accelerated speed trolling with DTX lures. That's the main thing they're doing. With the cigar weights and the cylinders and all that good stuff, they still do it. But more often than now, I see people pulling the big plugs with the big bills, getting those down, 50, 60 feet below the water. You do about 12 to 14 knots with them. You don't got to go 18, 20 knots and try and, you're double fisting the reel. You never get the fish in. So, yeah, no wahoo moon this week. So let's check our tide charts and see what we're looking at for fishing right outside the inlet, the jetty guys, all that goodness. And then we will get ready and send everyone on their way. Alrighty, here we go. Look at Wednesday, right? So right now, remember, folks, the reason we study these tide charts is for fishing out of inlets. When we've got an outgoing tide, which is this, going from high to low, it is worth it to fish that inlet. Okay, you don't want to fish on an inlet. The rule is that what happens is the outgoing tide pushes out all the sediments, microorganisms, phytoplankton, chlorophyll, everything. The little creatures coming to eat all that stuff, little bait fish, they feed on that, and then the predators come in. That is how the cycle of life works. You have this tidal flow that washes all that stuff out, and that's how it works, especially if you are a jetty fisherman. If you're going, let's say, to BOCA jetty and you're fishing and the tide's coming in, you're literally wasting your time. Okay. So right now we are in the outgoing cycle, which is beautiful. Wednesday, it's midway through as the sun comes up and the sun comes down too. So before I go a little further, let me say something else. Not only do you need the outgoing tide, it has to be at the appropriate time of day. If you've got an outgoing tide in the middle of the day when the sun's bright up straight overhead and there's no shadows, the fish are going to go and hide. They don't care what the tide's going to do. They're not going to be sitting ducks for sharks. So you have to have it, in the morning when everybody's eating breakfast and in the evening when everybody's getting ready for dinner. So that's how those tide cycles work too. So Thursday, we're about, almost at about halfway through the tide cycle as the sun, as day breaks, and we're just getting into it as the sun sets right around 7 o'clock at night. Friday, again, the same thing. This is the days where it's going to be rough. Saturday and Sunday, it's looking like your Saturday, it's already rolling as the sun comes out, which means Sunday, it will be now heading into Monday and Tuesday. Obviously, you're still going to be, as day breaks, you will be at the end of the incoming tide. So you'll have to give it a few moments before you rush over and start feeding that water change. And remember what David said. He found the blue water. He got out of the green water and he found blue water at 600 feet. Okay, so if you're looking for that color change, that's just something to consider too. Also, if you're heading out there and looking for that vertical to fish it. Alrighty, so there we go, folks. That about does it for all the weather and the fishing. Before we leave, though, if you are in the market for some fishing apparel, you're looking for one of them UPF 50 fishing shirts, go on ahead. Check out our WindRider. They got the South Florida Saltwater Fishing UPF 50 shirts. They got hoods, they got gaiters, fully customizable. You can get the logo on the back, on the front. That's the best part about it, other than it's this nice fancy shirt that'll keep you protected from the sun. You're supporting the brand. All right, I know I'm being a wise guy. Anyway, they're great shirts. WindRider is not a fly-by-night company. I've been with them for several years. They're great folks there. And again, a ton more products than just this. You can shop around. And again, like I said, you can get shirts with hoods, gaiters, many different colors available. With just the hood, you can get just the long. Don't get sticker shock when you look at all this stuff. It's comparable to the other ones, but yet it's still underpriced. Let's say you're looking for Pelagic, Salt Life, Hook, any of those brands, you're going to pay, well over $80 for one of these shirts. So it's just something to consider. Take a look at it if you're in the market for one of those nice UPF 50 shirts, which means you don't need sunscreen. They are fast drying. If you get them wet, you ain't going to stay wet real long. They'll keep you cool in the summer, a little bit warm in the winter, and they're fairly stain resistant. I've bloodied these things up. You go home, you spritz a little spray and wash on, throw them in, they look brand new. All righty. So again, WindRider. Check them out. Link is in the description if you want to. They throw me discounts. Not now. So hey. It is what it is, right, folks? And before we get out of here, let everyone go back to life. If you're on Facebook, I ask you to go and join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Here we are. It looks like this. Let's see. This is what it looks like minus the little date on top. It says South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. You can see it up here minus the blue strip because I am the administrator. We are a private group. We are not public. I don't want 8 that, I see several local fishing groups from Boynton all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. There's quite a few of them, and they're public groups. Okay, great. You've got 8,000 members. Well, all right, cool. When 6,500 of them are bots stealing your information and selling it, perfect. I can't help you. But again, I am not that guy. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying what we are. This is a private group. There are no bots in this group. If I find them, I get rid of them. Okay? You have to ask questions. The way we keep bots from entering the group is you have to ask for permission to join the group. It's simple. What's your favorite fish, and are you going to follow the rules? The rules are fairly simple. No screwing around. No being an ass. People are very nice on here, always sharing information. I haven't seen anybody really be, go off on a tangent yet. And I really don't expect that to happen because the people that are in this group are, we're a community. And yes, no bots. Bots cannot answer questions. So it's that. No YouTube videos. I support all the YouTubers. We got Jason Reese, great guy, over 100,000 subscribers, Guggen the Pro Offshore Fishing. Man, again, we've got our captains that we love. Neil Link, Palm Beach Charters. We got Jim, the greatest captain around, 4J's Charters. We got Alex down in Marathon. The captains up and down the coast. We've also talk with the captains from the Hillsborough Fishing Fleet. We've got Emily from Starlight 101. She likes to give us some intel and let you know what the head boats are out there doing, right? All right, folks. So that's it, right? Facebook. If you're on it, go on ahead. Ask to join South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Remember, this report right here, this Facebook page, is what directly drives this show that you're watching right now, the Tuesday night live stream. All of our information comes there, and whatever other resources, whatever research I can do that keeps us in the know. But again, I don't like going and stealing photos, borrowing photos, or anything like that. I like to keep what our folks in our community are doing, and if I see other stuff that's of, pertinent, something to note, okay, cool. We're going to know about it. I'm not going to keep anybody in the dark. Definitely. That's not what we're here to do. So, South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report, folks, right? And always, Mondays here, let me go back to it real quick. Every Monday, I put like a little brag board post out, right? Show you it real quick. It's this thing, right? Monday, let's see your fishes. If you make a post, and even if you don't make a post there, if you make it anywhere, if you just throw something on there, we're gonna, I try my darndest. Sometimes I blow it. I realize I've missed it a couple times. I'm not perfect, but yes, you're pretty much guaranteed to have your catch showcased on the show again, right, folks? Get on there and again, move this forward. All right, folks. Facebook, go on ahead and join it. All right, that about does it for this one, folks. Had fun, and we will, hopefully we're going to make it through this week, and next week, hopefully the weather starts giving us a little bit of a window again, so we can. I hate it. Anyway, we're back. All right. Cut up again. We'll see you next Tuesday. Until then, South Florida saltwater fishing. Going wherever the cool wind takes us.